What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to our reharmonization seminar. If you haven't done so already, click on the links that introduces you guys to the techniques we've used to this point and are going to continue to use. And if you haven't done so already, also click on this link that'll bring you to Mapping Tonal Harmony, the app we're using to do all this with. So let's get into our next technique, which is modal interchange. Fancy word, we're just gonna think of it as borrowing from the minor, the parallel minor of whatever mode we're currently in. So let's do that. So we're gonna do a few things in this video. We're gonna borrow from the minor. We're going to also change the playable cadence we have into an authentic cadence, giving us that clockwise movement we've always talked about to this point. And then we're gonna talk a little bit about anticipation also. All right, so you'll see what I mean in a second. But first, let's do this. Let's take this playable cadence that we have now, the 1, 4, back to 1, right? And turn that into an authentic cadence by going 4, 5, 1 as our pickup measure into the next phrase. All right, so we don't have anything on the 3rd and 4th beats of this pickup measure. So what I'm going to do there is put this 5 chord, which has turned now our playable cadence into an authentic cadence. 4, 5, and 1. Right. So there we have the first thing we were talking about, changing one cadence into another, and also, like I said, keeping that clockwise movement around the map also consistent. So now what we can do with that is look around the circle that we have with our new chord, our F7, and see if there's anything we can borrow from or substitute that chord out with, I should say. And in spirit with the video of borrowing from minor, I see that there's this A flat 7 chord over here that's in the dark circle. Remember, all of our minor chords are inside of the dark circles or inside of our circles of fifths. So when borrowing from the minor, we have a few options here. We have everything that's inside the circle, and we have a couple things over there. Anything that's in the dark region of your circle of fifths qualifies as a minor chord. Some of them will work better with our melody than others. All right, so it's up to you, depending on what you're harmonizing or reharmonizing, to be aware of that. We talked about that a lot in our last video, so keep that in mind. For our purposes, we're going to use this A flat 7 chord because the A flat 7 chord's chord scale is a Lydian flat 7, and that's exactly what our melody is leaning on at this point in the progression. So everything about this chord and our melody overlap really, really, really well. So what I'm going to do is take the 5 chord that we had by creating our authentic cadence and substituting it out by borrowing from the minor, doing the modal interchange that we just talked about. So I'm going to highlight my F7 as if to edit it and then get our A flat 7 in there. All right, so there's our borrowing from minor technique. Let's talk about the third thing I mentioned, which was anticipation. So as it is right now, we have the 4 chord at the beginning of the measure. And what we're gonna do is kind of like foreshadow where the melody is gonna go by getting rid of that and moving the A flat over. All right, so if I take this E flat major 7 chord and just ditch it and put in its place the A flat 7 chord that we had on the 3rd and 4th beat of the measure, what we're kind of doing now is calibrating the ear or your expectations as to what's going to happen next before it happens. Before, when the A flat 7 showed up, it was in sync with the melody. It was happening when the melody was happening. So now what we're going to do is say, here's the chord that sets up the melody that we're going to go to, which I think I prefer much better in this situation. Remember, it's all up to you how you want to do this, and it's your reharmony, it's your arrangement, but this is just my preference. So that's going to give us this cool effect. Hang around for our next video where we talk even more about substitutions and inversions or slash chords to create cool movements in the bass. Thanks for watching.